UFO News, North Carolina witness numb after triangle UFO sighting. In UFO News today, a third report to the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, that emerged 3 days after an apparent double sighting of triangle UFO craft points to some kind of triangle event over North and South Carolina in the last week of December of 2016. The witness in this triangle UFO sighting, reporting from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, reported observing the craft for 5 minutes, before a brief distraction caused him to lose sight of it. Unlike the report from South Carolina, the triangle UFO sighting in today's news is of only one craft, and it had a unique aspect to it. The UFO made a movement that is surprising. I was traveling NE and observed a large, black triangle with solid, bright white lights at each corner, one per corner. I stopped my vehicle, rolled my window down and shut off my car. It made no sound, hovered approx at 100 elevation and seemed to list and in as if in a light wind. I observed the object for approximately 5 minutes and looked away at incoming traffic and looked back to see that the object had vanished. There was no trace of it nor any sign of it in the night sky. This report is special in its own right, as it represents a third in a set of UFO reports over 2 nights in North Carolina. Witnesses reported seeing triangle UFO craft in all 3 of the reports. In South Carolina, the witness reported triangle UFO craft entering and exiting a larger star-shaped craft that was covered in the news. The witness in Winston-Salem reported that the UFO was hovering at 100 feet when it made a movement that the witness considered important enough to mention. The list of the UFO that the witness reported was curious. If the witness observed the UFO correctly, then it moved almost like a balloon on a tether. The witness even mentions that the craft looked as though it was being affected by a light breeze. Some will recall the Columbus, Ohio triangle UFO sighting in the news where the witness stated that she thought the triangle UFO was about to crash. After the UFO dipped, the witness in Ohio lost sight of it. In the Winston-Salem UFO report, the news is that the witness lost sight of the UFO after being distracted by traffic. The details that sightings share are often the finer strokes that bring a larger picture together. Did the Winston-Salem witness lose sight of the UFO because of traffic alone, or did the sudden movement of the craft allow it to slip away unseen, after a brief distraction of the witness? Is it possible that the triangle UFO craft makes some sort of movement that causes witnesses to lose sight of them visually? The second half of the witness report discusses the emotional impact of the sighting. I recall a weird, numbing sensation emotionally. I felt nothing, didn't know what to think nor could I process what I saw. But I was drawn to it and fixated on the object. It was light and electric humming could be felt throughout my body and mind, but nothing else existed at the moment but the object and my interest was focused on that object. I drove away after realizing it was gone and it was as if nothing happened at all, but I knew it had happened, but seemed like it was years ago. The witness seems to be describing what can only be called a hypnotic moment. From his numbing sensation to the humming sound that he described as if it permeated him, this event has an extraordinarily hypnotic undertone. The witness states that it was as though he was drawn to the UFO. This is not unprecedented in triangle UFO sightings reported in the news. Many reports include a mention of odd feelings, disorientation, and a type of communication between the witness and the UFO. The conclusion of the news of this report shows a witness that is either completely disoriented or in shock and denial. All 3 cases in both North and South Carolina contain disconcerting details. The last sounded almost like a botched abduction by the description of the witness. What is certain is that multiple witnesses within less than 300 miles of each other all saw triangle UFO craft in the sky within a day of each other. This Carolina event is certainly worthy of the news, and further follow-up